Hello everybody, my name is PastaObesity. It's been a long time, alright? I apologize for how long it took for me to make another Tom and Jerry video. Procrastination's been very bad lately. I've just been so lazy. You know, basically excuses. I'm really sorry for the quality of my previous Tom and Jerry video essays. You see, I used to edit on this a lot because I was very stubborn to edit on a computer. You know, and the thing is, I used to use CapCut a lot, right? And it would have multiple rendering issues. Like, it would show the same frame over and over, music would be loud, voice would be too low, but those are usually my fault. Basically, editing on my phone was a complete disaster. Every time I would re-render videos, it just didn't work out. So those first 3 Tom and Jerry videos, I'm very sorry for the quality. I do plan to remake those one day if I really want to. Basically fix all the rendering errors, fix some writing errors, correct misinformation, you know, stuff like that, right? But for now, this is what I have not re-recorded or anything. I recorded these lines almost a year ago, so my voice sounds different, and the way that I talk sounds different, and the references I'm gonna make are a little different or outdated, but I just want to keep it as is. My ratings haven't changed though, they're still the same. I'm just sorry for how long this took. So please, you don't have to subscribe or anything, but just enjoy the video. Tom and Jerry time.
So before this video starts, I just want to say something. So I was reading the comments of my latest video essay, the story ranking and review of the Tom and Jerry comedy show. That isn't actually my latest video essay. I'm a fucking idiot. 𝑬𝑽𝑽𝑬𝑹 says this show is actually important in the history of Tom and Jerry. It was the first production in the franchise to also incorporate other MGM stars such as Droopy and Bonnie Bear, a decision that would continue to be prevalent. I don't know if that's the right word choice. In later Tom and Jerry media, such as Tom and Jerry Tells and other direct-to-TV DVD movies. Okay, so the comedy show ended up being important, but the comedy show still sucks, so I don't care.
Did you fuck Jerry? Did you fuck Jerry? Fucking tell me, bitch! Did you fuck Jerry? Fuck! You're such a fucking slut! Oh my fucking god! You're such a fucking whore! Such a fucking whore!
Hello everyone, it's me, PastaObesity. I have finally stopped playing Team Fortress 2.
Using overused TF2 jokes.
Binging all of Dragon Ball and isolating myself from my family to talk about more Tom and Jerry because the cat and mouse cartoon duo kidnapped my soul when I was a baby and never released me. People are very mixed on this era of Tom and Jerry cartoons. People say it's good, people say it's alright, and there's people who absolutely loathe this era. I did not see people say they preferred this thing over Chuck Jones, even Hanna-Barbera. Chat, it's so over, man. Is it really that bad? Nah, f*** all that, bruh. Stupid ass generic questions and let's fucking get this. Surprisingly, this Tom and Jerry era has a lot of history that's actually very interesting and really gives you an idea of how and why the era is the way it is. So, let's begin from the end of the Gene Deitch era and go on from now. F*** all that. Let's do a quick recap, alright? MGM made a cartoon studio to compete with Warner Brothers, who were competing with Disney's success. A bunch of early cartoons didn't do so well because they sucked. One of their first successes was 𝑫𝑰𝑺𝑪 Peace on Earth, was nominated for an Academy Award and Nobel Peace Prize. 2 guys named William Hanna and Joseph Barbera envisioned a cartoon where 2 equal enemies screw with each other. Fox and dog? Nuh-uh, bro. Cat and mouse. Named it Jasper and Jinx. Release. Boom! Major success. Tom and Jerry would win more awards than any other animation property ever because they're my goats forever. But then, television. Yeah, so Hollywood tickets were selling almost Hollywood tickets were selling almost no tickets because they were at home farting themselves and pissing later watching a fucking Looney Tunes in Metro Color 8mm and 60mm Tom and Jerry films. MGM said, hey, we're losing money. You see all of you who put your heart and soul into MGM Cartoon Studio for the last 30 years?
You're fired!
Tom and Jerry reruns made more profit on television. MGM tried bringing Tom and Jerry back to theater with Gene Deitch interpretation. Fans loathed it and death threatened Gene Deitch. After 13 shorts, contract got demo night fragged because MGM was scared of Czechoslovakia. Iron Curtain nature. It sounded like I was gonna go on, but that was actually the end of the sentence on the script. A lot to take in, right? Who cares? I care. I don't know if you care, but I do care. Let's move on to the main bulk of this video essay, okay? Chuck Jones was an incredibly respected animator animator and artist at Warner Brothers Animation Cartoon Studio for the better part of 30 years, helping to develop Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and being the backbone of the shorts. He created famous characters Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner for Looney Tunes, which did extremely well and became instant classics. If only he was alive now to see how fucking horribly they Warner Brothers treated Coyote versus Acme, bro. Jesus Christ. Well, until it all closed down in 1963. That's crazy, bro, Lamau. Now that Chuck Jones, despite being a highly respected artist and animator, was jobless, he tried looking for a job that allows him to not only degrade the quality of his work. Chuck Jones despised limited animation and didn't understand it, so he refused to partake in it during the Hanna-Barbera era. He believes that anything you do for an audience, you always showcase the best you can do and nothing else. He saw that limited animation was becoming the norm and looked at it and said,
"It's so bad it sucks. It's so fucking suck it."
And didn't give up on the animation and art that he premiered. Let's go. Then the holy animation gods blessed Chuck Jones with immediate recruitment to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, which at the time stopped giving a f about theatrical releases, but they offered him 100% complete creative control. He used his miracle opportunity to control and continue the legacy of real animation, rebelling against the new objectively worse norm of limited animation. Now, with everything in hand, with what he wanted, he partnered
I'm just like my daddy, I'm a fucking felon. You was just a
Respectable person with a promising future ahead of you.
He partnered up with producer Les Goldman and forged a production studio, 𝑠IB Tower 12, and reunited many of his former Warner colleagues who, just like him, had no employment. No one is self-made after all, don't ever believe that. Chuck Jones said, and I quote, "One thing I learned is, and I know I had one talent that I'm absolutely certain about, is that you must surround yourself with talent." MGM called up Chuck Jones and said, "Hey, we're doing Tom and Jerry again. You up, dog?"
You know, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online.
Chuck Jones took in Maurice Noble, who did the designs for most of his pictures, Mike Maltese for the clever ideas and stories, animators Ken Harris, Don Towsley, Tom Ray, Dick Thompson, and Ben Washam, Philip DeGard for backgrounds, Eugene Ponday for music, and the man with 1,000 voices, Mel Blanc, to do vocal noises for the duo while sometimes using archives of Hannah's screams. He made the best crew to make the best films. This era, despite not being perfect, had some animated brilliance given the crew. Maurice Noble is remembered for his abstract and delicate layouts. Ken Harris is known for his wild action-filled animation style. Ben Washam is known for his subtle and extreme expression animation. Mike Maltese is known for his wild, clever ideas, amazing stories, and structure, which Chuck Jones also specialized in but could never be on par with Mike Maltese. Mel Blanc is known for being the ultimate voice actor. Tom Ray was known for his splendid specialty in character animation and being an amazing animation director. Don Towsley was known for his brilliant specialty in certain animation techniques like timing, fluidity, and motion. And finally, Dick Thompson was known for his expert versatility working on endless different art styles. Chuck Jones' biggest challenge is somehow adapting these two chaotic characters into his own without completely removing its core identity, and so he did in the best way he possibly could. Chuck Jones started off the new designs by giving them a facelift. Tom was given orange eyes with black pupils, longer whiskers, thick dark brows, more fur in general, and stayed a consistent gray. Tom would also take on more puzzling and very specific expressions, which clearly influenced Chuck Jones' later work on 1969's How the Grinch Stole Christmas animated TV special for his Grinch design. He somewhat resembled Wile E. Coyote in his rendition of Sylvester the Cat during his time on the Looney Tunes. Jerry was redesigned to be cuter and slightly chubbier, more expressive eyes, more circular head, and larger ears. Chuck Jones also gave ample consideration to earlier masterworks of Hanna-Barbera shorts, constantly rewatching these films and analyzing them to the highest degree with care and compassion. He would also honor some of Hanna-Barbera's work, such as in Much Ado About Mousing, whereas his rendition of The Bodyguard. You know when Tom tends to go on musical tangents while Jerry just wants to get some sleep? This concept is faithfully honored in The Cat Above and The Mouse Below. He also gave homages to his work on Warner Brothers, like this weird fucking orange Diddy cat who shares the exact same mannerisms as Pepe Le Pew with the same sort of voice tone. But the main concern here, animation quality. We've seen what Filmation's and 𝑺𝑬𝑽𝑬𝑹 looks like. Is this era good? The answer is 101% with 5 nickels, 2 shoes, 3 fucking eyelashes, and a SpongeBob Game Boy cartridge. It's very smooth, consistent mostly, and very expressive, while the backgrounds are beautiful paintings with endless style and detail. Best shown in 𝑠nowbody Loves Me, where Jerry makes a room for himself in a whole wheel of Swiss cheese. Given that Chuck Jones never worked on a cartoon so brutal and sporadic as Tom and Jerry, with their strict style of slapstick and pain 24/7, these shorts are inspired by Chuck Jones' Wile E. Coyote shorts. One of the main things Chuck Jones and his amazing team did was use jokes and comedic techniques they used on Looney Tunes. They adapted it to Tom and Jerry using the techniques such as eye flicks, eyebrow raising, long awkward humorous moments, and flat-out stupefications. The sound design in this era is mostly great, but tends to get a little too much sometimes. The voice acting is alright, Mel Blanc's screams aren't bad as Tom, and sound effects for painful situations do work and don't sound like random Chewbacca burps like Gene Deitch's. Except for when Jerry sings. That can die. The man responsible for the music in this era was 𝘼𝑽𝑬𝑹, known for his manic music composition and use of various soundtrack techniques such as memorable music piece sampling, Mickey Mousing, and expressive orchestration, while also being able to vary between specific styles. In my opinion, the music in these shorts is great. It isn't Scott Bradley levels of good, but definitely more unique than Deitch's. It's very much there and plays a lot into the personality of these shorts. While Bradley's is more sophisticated, Deitch's was more traditional and didn't try doing too much, while Pontiac is more erratic and wild. When Chuck Jones was working on the Tom and Jerry shorts, he actually also worked on the 1975 through 1972 reruns of Tom and Jerry shorts on CBS. These were censored because, you know, it was the 1940s and 50s. They had racist and bigoted imagery, so they had to be reanimated or censored through like redraws or just straight up removing scenes. They were also in Metro color film, every single short, because this was during 1960s TV, so TVs weren't really able to process that many color. There was an end segment that people thought was lost media because for the life of them they couldn't find it until a year ago, where someone was able to basically discover the lost end segment. So now you can just find it on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Hey, so editing pasta here, and I was trying to find the source of this information. Turns out that the find is very f***ing deleted! So now I look like I'm a liar, bro. This is some bullshit.
Chuck Jones said that he was willing to experiment more than previous cartoons were. I mean, he's not wrong. In Tom and Jerry and Chuck, the Tom and Jerry Chuck Jones era documentary on DVD, which I got most of this information from, Chuck Jones criticized William Hanna and Joseph Barbera by talking about how they can't make any other cartoon but Tom and Jerry, and they never even tried at the time. You can image what a dull existence that was. It's like being in gang in the form of invisible weavers. You don't know when you're doing right.
Shut up!
Why is Tom's feet like miscolored? Tom is living like the goat that he is, while Jerry is wandering aimlessly, so hungry that his stomach is caving in. Dude, my boy, just go to Denny's. You're a mouse who survived the impossible. My boy, steal his W Slamburger and barking for some reason. Ties his tail around his stomach to ease the hunger, notices a lunchbox, climbs in it, but whoopsie it's at an active construction site. The lunchbox gets carried away and falls off a railing or something. Jerry holds on to a piece of banana peel. The lunchbox lands around Tom's head somehow. Notices Jerry, thinks of eating him, and catches him on a sandwich, but then the rest is your standard Tom and Jerry. like your normal chasing jokes or whatever. This is obviously meant to be the first impression. They improve over time. They improve on with more unique ideas and concepts, but this short is as standard as it gets. I'm giving Penthouse Mouse a 7 out of 10. Look, I'm gonna have to pronounce some Italian stuff here, so if you don't want to hear me try my best to pronounce something Italian and fail miserably, please skip, alright? Signor Tomasito Catticazaza baritone gets dropped off at the theater from his outrageously long limit to perform Ragro a Factotum from the Italian opera The Barber of Seville by Gioacchino Rossini, but conveniently Jerry lives under the floors of the stage trying to get some sleep, but Tom's performance, performed by Terrence Monk, keeps his ass awake, so now he must try his best to shut him up and get some sleep. This is one of my personal favorites out of this era. The animation is a huge step up from Penthouse Mouse and includes a lot of the little things that makes that short really enjoyable to watch. The gags, albeit basic, work well within the setting. My favorite gag is when Tom is continuing to perform while Jerry taunts him while licking a lemon that gets Tom's lips all dry until Tom juices the lemon on Jerry. It's so random, but it's funny. 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's kind of basic, but it's honestly an amazing cartoon. Jerry suddenly becomes a chemist and develops a consumable potion that gains him the ability of Sonic the Hedgehog and pesters Tom as he tries to eat sardines. You fucking deserve it. Grapes and apple in his I said his, damn, what the fuck? And ribs. Tom thinks it's a fly with a rocket strapped until he films it, watches it a fucking million times slower, and finds out it's Jerry, and now is attempting to trick Jerry into falling for tricks. This is another one of those supernatural type shorts where Jerry acquires a power instead of trying to use it for good, he uses it to mess with Tom. It's grippy. Nah, there aren't that many jokes in this. It's just Tom trying to eat with the occasional basic slapstick. I really like this shot where Tom is cleaning the newly recorded film. The pink light just looks cool. The ending is pretty funny. Tom goes from hysterically laughing to crying in fear. Literally me. It's a 6 out of 10. It's not really that interesting. This is Chuck Jones' rendition of 1944's The Bodyguard, albeit in a more abstract and pantomimic manner. It takes place in a different setting where Tom is trying to fish, baits Jerry somehow with cheese, and the bodyguard plot happens. It's the most chaotic short yet. Chuck Jones' signature long awkward moment shines here, and the facial expressions are absolutely brilliant, and the jokes are once again basic. 7.6 out of 10. It's just fine. Jerry is freezing in the blizzarding winter, wandering aimlessly, and ends up in a cheese shop where Tom is sleeping in by a warm campfire. Jerry knocks down the door and Tom unknowingly lets him in and locks him out. And now Tom is angry at Jerry and attempts to kick him out. I really love the scene where Jerry yodels in a wheel of Swiss cheese and it creates this. This short shares similarities to The Night Before Christmas, about Tom feeling guilty about throwing Jerry out and wondering about him dying of hypothermia. The ending is cute. Tom saves Jerry, feeds him soup, and he recovers happily and dances together on a piano. 9 out of 10. Tom is being a spoiled brat who made Jerry his servant until the mailman comes in with a package. Tom thinks it's various foods such as steak, fish, lobster, and a whole turkey. Be so fucking for real, Tom, until it meows. It turns out that the new package is actually a new female kitten that Jerry strangely falls in love with. Afraid of losing all the attention, Tom now has to get in the way of Jerry protecting the kitten from Tom kicking her out of the house. He deadass compares living with the kitten to hell. The gas and jokes shine here, like Tom's over-exaggeration of what living with the new kitten will be like, Tom's spinning stationery somehow, the spinning plate turning in the spinning plate turning Tom into a drill, the whole section of Tom yelling at Jerry outside the window, Tom using him being stuck on a plank of wood we use for aerial traversal, him getting spanked against the window, kinda zesty, not gonna lie, etc. It's a great Tom and Jerry short. I'm giving the Unshrinkable Jerry Mouse a 10 out of 10. It's literally just a standard textbook definition of the Tom and Jerry cartoon. I know when I say that, there's gonna be people in the comments that are gonna be like, you can't just say that, that's not a review. Well, why don't you describe the stuff that specifically happens? And the problem is, if I do, the video will just drag on, and then you will just sort of get why I say it's literally just Tom and Jerry. Because when you think of Tom and Jerry, that's what these cartoons are. But that's off topic. Let's get back to the review. It's just an excuse for the team to add nothing but jokes in Tom and Jerry. And it works. The animation comedy shines, the background audio shines, the hyperbolized situations are funny. It's a great Tom and Jerry cartoon. It doesn't really have anything else though. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10. This is similar to 𝑫𝑰𝑺𝑪𝑶𝑹 Story of Life, but it has funnier jokes and primarily takes place outdoors. The main joke is that it seems that they're chasing each other and pestering each other for seemingly no reason. Any obstacle that comes in the way, they stop for a bit, fix it or resolve it, and get back to it. The cartoon literally ends with them shaking hands all happy and getting back to it. It's actually quite wholesome. 8 out of 10. Tom and Jerry doing Tom and Jerry stuff at a construction site. There's no plot. It's all jokes. This one is actually one of the more iconic and remembered ones. Clips of this episode on YouTube have millions of views, and for a good reason. The animation, comedy, music, and jokes are at their best here, especially Tom's consistent failures attempting to use various rocks to launch himself to Jerry high up in the air. It's also Chuck Jones' most violent cartoon yet. 8.5 out of 10. It's pretty damn good, dude. Another one of the shorts that doesn't really have any real plot because the cat and mouse are trying to one-up each other again. Tom attempts to dress up as a lady guitarist mouse to attract Jerry, but ends up attracting every mouse near him like a fucking Disney princess, runs away, gets stuck in the costume, and the cabs attempt to capture Tom. It's fine. It's pretty harmless. 7 out of 10. It's okay. In this short, we meet Jerry's other cousin, Merlin Mouse, a magician. He's coming over to eat and visit his cousin Jerry, but Tom is in the way trying to capture Jerry. This short should have been so much better if they did more with Merlin. All he did was lift Tom off the ground, hypnotize him, and free these somehow undigested animals from his stomach that we don't even see happen. It's unfortunately kind of lame. I'm giving Haunted Mouse a 6.7 out of 10. It's pretty lame. Tom and Jerry do the little shenanigans. Oh my whoopsie wow! But they end up at a toy store where they use those toys to try to get to each other. I like this one a lot. They use the toys in clever and funny ways. Tom getting run over by a train while putting on a blindfold is hilarious, and the sequence of Tom pulling the tails of toys that look similar to Jerry was pretty clever. 9 out of 10. It's pretty good. This is Chuck Jones' rendition of 1947's The Invisible Mouse. Jerry gets fucking owned by an 8-ball, so out of nowhere, some bullshit fairy comes down, and Jerry describes what happened to him in a funny recreation of events while Jerry mimicking Tom. So the fairy gives him pink invisible potion so he can get back at Tom. It's alright. Jerry uses this power to terrify Tom by using scissors and shave the fur off of him, which he later does to Jerry. They both find it hilarious and it ends on a good note. 8.5 out of 10. This is one of my personal favorites, but it is very fucked up. In this cartoon, Jerry and his homies screw with Tom sleeping by putting him in self-harm or suicidal situations, so when he wakes up, it looks like he's doing that in his sleep. It's hilarious in a horrible way. You feel so bad for him, but you can't help but laugh at his reaction to this. Especially the one where it looks like he stabbed his heart and runs away screaming. The ending is amazing. Tom pulls out the blicky and forces them to surrender and traps them in an escapable contraption so he can sleep. He wins here. 10 out of 10. Fucking hilariously dark cartoon. Jerry orders what seems to be a massive guard bulldog, but it turns out to be the size of my baby belly. But the bulldog is extremely good at its job, so now Tom has to try to eliminate this tiny guard dog to get Jerry. This one's pretty good. I love Tom's reaction to the dog and his reaction to what it's done to him, and the whole door sequence was pretty clever. I'm gonna give this an 8.3 out of 10. This is one of the more unique Chuck Jones shorts. Jerry stops Tom before he attacks, slaps him with a glove, and both agree to traditionally duel with each stupidly going badly. This cartoon is actually pretty funny. The slapstick is splendid, how the duels garung is so stupidly outlandishly cartoony, and them acting so professional kills me. 9.5 out of 10. Jerry has a real sleepwalking issue, and in this sleepwalking state, he abuses Tom for literally no reason. Jerry now has to try to stop this from happening, and Tom tries to get some sleep. This short is meh. What he does to Tom is pretty basic, and the ending kind of sucks. Basically, Jerry ties a strand of yarn to Tom's tail, which goes all over the house and ends at the chimney. That only activates when Jerry drops an anvil down the chimney. Tom realizes that he's never gonna sleep comfortably now, so he sobs and moves out, while Jerry, somehow still asleep, follows him. You just feel real bad for Tom. 6 out of 10. It's just not that fun to watch. Tom and Jerry are chasing each other until they end up at a circus where Jerry accidentally makes a female elephant fall in love with him. So now it's Tom's duty to get rid of this elephant and capture Jerry. It's okay, some of the bits are decently funny. I feel like the elephant design might have influenced Jones' work on Horton Hears a Who. I don't know if that's just me though. 6.8 out of 10. Tom tries to deliver Jerry as a gift to the woman of his dreams, but the female cat actually takes a liking to Jerry and protects him at all costs. Jerry takes advantage of this to trick Tom into having his mouth open so he can occupy it so Tom can get hurt. It's pretty good. I like how seriously she takes this and Jerry's high-pitched baby voice. I love the plot twist at the end where she was protecting Jerry not because he's cute or whatever. It's so she can kill and eat him before Tom does too early. I also really like the difference in color palette. It's more pink and white. I'm getting Love Me, Love My Mouse a 10 out of 10. Tom and Jerry near a boat. That's literally it. It's okay. This has some of the most absurd humor so far. Like Tom seeing this realistic-esque painting man in space while in the sky somehow, and Tom falling on a map. Random-ass green shark, and Tom being turned into this thing. This just looks like... It's just... me after the Zaza hit too different. Please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe. Please. 6.5 out of 10. Tom wants to eat the goldfish. The goldfish cries out for help. Jerry hears the goldfish cry, so now he must protect the fish from Tom. This short is, once again, alright. The slapstick and absurd humor shines here, and the ending is so ridiculous. Jerry randomly acquiring a shark is so fucking stupid. I love it. Tom looks exactly like the trash can design from It's Greek to Me. Yeah. Sorry, like I know that joke was cringy in the Gene Deitch video, but I just had to do it again. I'm sorry. I thought it was a cool coincidence. This is also Chuck Jones' rendition of Jerry and the Goldfish. Just thought I could put that out there. 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. I kind of can't rate this one. Why? Well, it's a cheat cartoon. I want to make a video about cheating cartoons sometime within the future, so I have to give this a 2 out of 10. Why 2? Chuck Jones tries to recreate Hanna-Barbera's art style, which is pretty nice to see, I guess. And they redid the entire sound design to fit with the style of this era, but... yeah, you're getting that burping. Tom and Jerry chase each other skiing until Jerry lands in a cabin with a health dog. Tom attempts to trick the dog to leave by making its gears seem an accident and cries for help until he needs actual help, in which the dog drunks him to keep him warm and the recurring joke of the short is that no matter what, this damn dog keeps giving Tom alcohol. The visual gags are decent, but my favorite joke is when Tom gets launched into the air from being boiled only to defy gravity, reverse his path only to do it again, in and all but holding Jerry. It's so ridiculously stupid. 8 out of 10. It's a good cartoon. Tom and this other cat attempt to get rid of Jerry, but end up accidentally attacking each other every time. It's decent. I like the idea of two people unknowingly harming each other. It creates great bits, and they think Jerry somehow turned into prime Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's so stupid. I love it. 7.8 out of 10. This is catty-cornered, but instead of accidentally fighting, they are directly fighting. I'm a big fan of the backgrounds in this short and how Tong sings the Neapolitan ballad Santa Lucia, seemingly by the same guy, Terrence Monk. The actual short is kind of boring, unfortunately. The whole duplicate occupies a majority of the short, with the rest being basic violence that we've seen in many other cartoons at this point. 6.5 out of 10. Tom and Jerry, but in a space shuttle that looks similar to a roulette gambling game. The RoboCat Tom was actually in Tom and Jerry in War of the Whiskers for the PS2 as the worst character in the game, but that's off topic. The gags and visual humor absolutely shine here, and the environment is very well thought of. The ending where Tom launches Jerry on the moon and parodies the belief that the moon is made of cheese is funny, while Tom has to repair the holes on the space shuttle after celebrating too hard. 8.7 out of 10. It's pretty good. This is a sequel to Oh Solar Meow, but instead of just Tom and Jerry actually are engineers there who use the technology to try to one-up each other. Like using their robot counterparts, space guns, this cute little vehicle thing, going invisible, etc. The ending is kinda weird. After the explosion, we cut to the prehistoric caveman time period where Tom finds out that mice taste better than bones, and they start chasing each other. It's good. I like how Tom and his robot counterpart interact with each other in the caveman era scene, changing the line art style. 9 out of 10. Tom tries to get some needed sleep while Jerry's performing with his band in the nightclub called 𝑫𝑰𝑰𝑽𝑬𝑹. You feel so bad for Tom. Look, I get it. It's a nightclub. People want to go out. But why have the nightclub here even though people are sleeping? It makes no sense. At the end, Tom loses his mind in a fit of screaming rage and breaks through the wall because he's not gonna get sleep at all. Apparently in this era, this bulldog is Spike, not the other one, this one. Well, according to the wiki, 5.9 out of 10. It's just straight up unenjoyable to watch. Tom and Jerry again chasing each other around the sea and bridges and boats. It's unfortunately kind of boring. The gags are basic and the shark doesn't really do much. I'm gonna give this a 5.8 out of 10. This is a parody of 1960s spy television series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Secret agent Jerry Adkin is given a secret mission. Infiltrate the mansion of Tom Thrust. That was like the most low-hanging joke of all time. I should actually just kill myself. And recover a refrigerator stuffed with loads of cheese. This is this era's most chaotic short yet. Especially the scene where Tom accidentally activates all of his deadly booby traps at once and he just fucking goes through it, man. I personally really like this short. I'm gonna give The Mouse from Hunger a 9 out of 10. Tom tries to surf on the ocean, but an annoying shark gets in the way, so Tom must find a way to get rid of the shark so he can surf. It also has a side plot about an octopus getting stuck on his head, and that takes up a good majority of the film. It's dull. The guys are fine, but the actual scenery is repetitive, and the whole octopus segment was pretty lame. The ending is fire though. Tom turns into a surfboard after accidentally swallowing it, and Jerry rides him and he just goes with it. I love it. 6.5 out of 10. This is the final part of the trilogy of Tom and Jerry in space with their robo counterparts. It's the worst one out of the three. It introduces how much it sucks to work there with no real food and a boring security job. But other than that, the jokes are basic at best and the violence is extremely tame. More about that later. The ending is kind of dark. Tom and Jerry are seemingly permanently mind-controlled against their will by their robo counterparts as payback for their injuries. 6 out of 10. Alright everyone, the final short. The short that was one of the very last of the golden age of animation. And the final fully released theatrical Tom and Jerry short until 2005. Is Perchance the Dream any good? Yes! Yes, it is. This is a sequel to the cat's Meowch, but way better and funnier. The dog, the size of my belly, I love my is more aggressive and aware than last time, while still being gullible for some tricks. The slapstick and violence are well done, the dog's expressions are great, and overall, it's a fucking great cartoon to end off the golden age of animation era for Tom and Jerry. 10 out of 10. Now with that all out of the way, let's rank these from worst to best. Minnie Mouse, Shutterbugged Cat, Rockin' Rodent, Canny Rodent, Jerry Jerry Quite Contrary, Advanced and Be Mechanized, Mechanized, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't care enough. Is There a Doctor in the Mouse? Surfboard Cat, Cat and Duplicate, Haunted Mouse, Jerry Go Round, Penthouse Mouse, The Brothers Carry Mouse Off, Ah Sweet Mouse Story of Life, Puss in Boats, Much Ado About Mousing, Catty Cornered, Filet Meow, Atomic Energy, The Abominable Snowman, The Cat's Meowch, Bad Day at Count Rock, A Feline Bondage, Oh Silver Meow, Guided Mouse Style, The Mouse from Hunger, I'm Just Wild About Jerry, Nobody Loves Me, Dual Personality, The Unshrinkable Jerry Mouse, Love Me, Love My Mouse, Perchance the Dream, The Year of the Mouse, and finally, the best Chuck Jones short ever, The Cat Above and the Mouse Below. Cons. The animation, despite being pretty and fluid, is over-exaggerating, is so slow. Things tend to take much longer than it should have to happen. I can see why people don't seem to enjoy the style. This era is too friendly and less violent than previous cartoons. Some of the injuries happen off screen or seem like they don't really hurt that much. They're too flexible, so when they get hurt, it doesn't feel as painful as before. There are so many cases of straight up reuses of animation. There's so many instances of this, and it makes it feel more rushed than passionate. There's times where entire segments of the short are repeated to pad out the short film to at least 6 minutes, but they're either faster or some of the stuff is more cut off. It takes forever for the actual bulk of the short to happen. They spend too much time setting up the plot, or some jokes go on for way too long. The humor in this era relies on expression and face animation more than slapstick violent comedy. Tom and Jerry is mostly known about its violence and how aggressive the situations can get. So for this not to have that but rely on how the characters react to situations isn't all that great to some fans. It's too different. As Chuck Jones cartoons, they're amazing, but as Tom and Jerry cartoons, they can range from being pretty good to pretty boring. Personally, I like Jones cartoons, so I like these, but some Tom and Jerry fans might not feel the same about this. And audiences back in 1967 did not feel the same about that either. That did not make sense. I don't care to edit that out. Pros. The animation is so pretty and fluid. Every character moves so gracefully and expressions are so specific and cartoony. It's genuinely impressive how much character they can cram into each moving being. This era's comedy relies on expression and face comedy more than slapstick, and it works most of the time in my opinion. Some expressions are so hilarious, it fits so well with its art style. It isn't too much like current SpongeBob. Not saying that it's bad, quite the opposite, but they purely use expression animation for its humor now. Well, and I feel like they toned it down a bit nowadays, but it's still there. I really like the colors of these shorts, despite it being Metro color. They use clever ways to make every color pop out, and is best shown in Love Me, Love My Mouse, but worst shown when they reuse entire segments of animation in The Shutterbugged Cat. Chuck Jones has successfully honored Tom and Jerry's legacy and made his mark on the franchise, but from Jerry Go Round onwards, it's clear that Chuck Jones' interest within Tom and Jerry waned as he gave the director liberties to Abe Levito. The result of this frustration was his highly personal and praised adaptation of Norrin Juster's children's literature fictional and humor book, The Dot and the Line. The Dot and the Line earned Chuck Jones an Oscar, but it also earned him the right to pursue stories and characters that appealed to more personal taste, such as the 1969 Christmas classic, Dr. Seuss' How the Grinch Stole Christmas. With The Grinch, Chuck Jones reached an entirely new audience and proved that he didn't have to compromise his strength of full animation and his style of animation for the medium of television. But even with all these achievements, all of these awards, the inevitable was, well, the inevitable. In 1967, after the 34th Tom and Jerry short, Perchance the Dream, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer finally shut down SIB Tower 12. Its cartoon department which at the time was renamed into 𝘼𝑀 Animation Visual Arts. 40 years after Hollywood animation was born, the curtain bowed on Tom and Jerry and the golden age of animation effectively ended. And in case any of y'all pointed out, yeah, that sentence is ripped directly from Tom and Jerry and Chuck from the DVD before any of you guys point me out on it, I know. Even after all of that, Tom and Jerry continued and still continues to live on in the hearts of millions globally, gaining new fans every generation and every new year. Chuck Jones never really spoke about his time on Tom and Jerry that much in his later years, but when he did talk about them, he never spoke about them as fondly as it did to the characters close to his heart. But there's no doubt, despite how corny this sounds, they needed each other. Both were at their lowest of their lows. Tom and Jerry's reputation was severely damaged by Gene Deich's shorts, and Chuck Jones and his WB buddies were completely jobless, and they saved each other. Tom and Jerry's reputation was back and better than ever, and Chuck Jones became a world-famous animation legend who would go on to create some of the best animation that became classics. Chuck Jones, the legendary animation artist, passed away on February 22nd, 2002 due to heart failure. He was 89 years old at the time of his death. His contribution to animation will forever leave a lasting legacy in the industry.
Well, I know what you're asking. What the f is this? My mom got me this for my birthday, then my first time testing it out. I want to see if it's good, but this is going to be the outro for the video. So, just to let you know that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm so sorry this was practically 2 years overdue. I plan to get back into it more. This took like 3 weeks to make, mainly because, you know, school and finals are especially coming up now. So that you know, that f***ing sucks. Yeah, that's the story, whatever the boo-boo fucking caca of the Chuck Jones and Tom and Jerry shorts. If he died in 2002, what about the 2009 quotes? That's because the was released in 2009, so that technically counts. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Follow me on the socials listed on screen, subscribe to me, do whatever you need to do. And spiders are killing me, so you probably will never see me again.